Hello and welcome to another video from EarnPED.com. I am StevieB, glad to have you all with us today. Today I'm at Ashy Teleporter, and this is the video I've been planning to make for a while, the long lost, long forgotten game mechanic that still works and can help you guys out tremendously. I've also got a text conversation going, so bear with me a little bit while I do this, guys. I did not want to do this at Ashy. I wanted to do it somewhere else, and I'll show you where, because I think the place is really cool, and I think it's somewhere most of you have probably not been. Problem is, it's not free if you go there, and here it's free. So this circle up here, this is Ashy PvP area. I'm at Ashy TP right here, and this circle over here, this white one, is called Fortress Invincible. It's a really cool area that MindArk designed for PvP events, like where we would make teams and go at each other, all like Call of Duty style. The problem is, it's not necessarily free. You've got to set up an event, which costs money. You've got to create tickets, which cost money. So that's why I didn't want to do it there. You can also turn Zychion Citadel, my pretty much home away from home, into a PvP area by creating an event there. Most people don't know that, but again, that costs money, which is why I didn't want to do it there. I wanted to give you guys kind of a free option. One of the benefits that you might actually be able to get from creating an event at Fortress Invincible or creating an event at Zychion Citadel is sometimes when you create those PvP events, there is a way to reduce the ammo consumption and deterioration by 90% whenever you create an event like that. So that could potentially be a giant factor for some of you planning to use this game mechanic or planning to use this method. So before we get into that, let me explain kind of what this mechanic is and why it's important. So if we just take a look at our professions real quick, most of you are familiar with Evader. So like my Evader is level 38. Evader is the defense mechanic that allows me to evade, for lack of a better term, attacks from creatures, non-robot creatures, so animals, right? And then most of you know that Dodger is defense for robots. So my Dodger is level 33. Same thing, it allows me to dodge robot attacks. One that you might not be too familiar with, though, is Jammer. Jammer is defense for people using Mindforce attacks. So notice my Jammer is only level 18. So the problem with Jammer is there's not really a way to skill it. There's not really a way to get it, because there's no creature that you run into while hunting that uses Mindforce attacks. Not that I'm aware of anyway. I've looked high and low, and as of yet, Mindforce so far is one of those things that's reserved only for players in game. There's no mob that uses Mindforce. Therefore, you're not going to get attacked with Mindforce. Therefore, you're not really going to get defense against it. Now, the reason that my Jammer level is 18 compared to 0 is, like all professions in Entropia, it's not just made up of one skill. It's not just the Jammer skill. There's other crossover skills that do contribute to Evader, that do contribute to Dodger, that also contribute to Jammer, right? So that's why it's not 0. There is some, it's just not a lot. And this is a big problem whenever you're getting into higher level PvP, because there's a lot of really high level PvP players out there that use Mindforce for this reason. They know that most people have a decently high evade level or a decently high dodge level. And they also know that most people have an extremely low Jammer level. So a lot of PvP players will use Mindforce because it's the ideal weapon. You have very little to no defense against it. And if they're a really, really high level Mindforce user and you have a really, really low Jammer level, they're going to hit you almost every time. Now, yes, in PvP areas, aim actually plays a part. You actually have to aim. But as long as they can aim on you, they know they're not going to get a miss from the game. Not like they just miss you completely like the broadside of a barn because they can't aim, but like whenever you're hunting and it says you missed the creature, well, you didn't miss the creature, you hit the creature. You didn't have to aim, right? But it's a miss in the game parlance, right? So as long as they're, I believe it's 10 levels higher than your defense level, they're going to hit you every single time. So Mindforce is kind of ideal for PvP. That means that ideally we want to have a higher Jammer level. We want to have more defense to this. So how do we do that? Well, the easiest way to do that is to hop over to a PvP area. Get in my little go-go. And I'm just going to use Ashy Rig. I'm going to pull my radar up so you can see. So ideally, really the only way to get defense against Mindforce attacks is to get attacked with Mindforce, right? But since there's no creature that can do that, we have to find some way that we can get attacked. The easiest way to do that is with a friend. Go to a PvP area. You want somewhere that's non-lootable. You want an orange area. Red areas like this up here, these are PvP lootable. These are contaminated zones. You want a non-contaminated zone, a PvP non-lootable area where you and a friend can go, and you can essentially just trade Mindforce blows. You can literally just stand there. That way nobody misses. That way you don't have to worry about aim, and you can just lock on your target, and you can just trade Mindforce blows. Because as with anything, yes, it's going to cost some money, but the benefit here is you're actually going to get that jammer skill. You're actually going to see your defense against Mindforce go up, right? So ideally, you and a friend come out to Ashy Rig, you start changing blows with some Mindforce, and ideally, you should get jammer skill. That should raise your jammer profession. Now, like I said, excuse me guys, bad allergy day, it is going to cost you some PED, but how much is that skill worth to you? If it's something where you're just trying to get it to turn around and resell it, maybe not so much. Notice that I'm in a PvP zone. That's why it's red, but it's not lootable. I cannot be looted by other players when killed. It's also not a toxic area. If this was PvP lootable, all three of these would be red. It would be PvP zone, and I'd be able to be looted, and it would be a contaminated area. So since it's only this first one, I know that Ashy Rig is a non-lootable PvP area. That's where I want to go. Also, I can look at the map. If it's red, it's lootable. If it's orange, it's non-lootable. So I could literally just have a friend come out here with me, and we could just trade Mindforce blows and get those jammer skills, and bada bing, bada boom, I've now got some defense toward Mindforce, right? Oh, look, there's some Emon Alpha, because we're in the middle of summer migration. Wow, didn't know those were here. Those are big. So the other benefit is if you're wanting to skill some medic, if you're wanting to do some fapping to skill up your fapping skills, this is a good opportunity to do it, because A, you take the hit from the Mindforce, you get the skills. Then you can turn around and heal yourself. So again, costs money. It's not free, but it does work. And there's really no alternative. Now, the reason I wanted to do it at Fortress Invincible down here is, like I said, it looks really cool. It's like this giant castle thing. They've got indoor, outdoor. Everything can be destroyed. Everything can be repaired. The main gate, the terminals, there's force-filled doors. All of that stuff has health bars. You can destroy it, which costs PED, and then you can also repair it with a repair tool, which is kind of cool. So not something I would necessarily recommend for skilling as far as VSC goes. You'd be better off on a mothership where you don't have to pay to damage it. But it's a really cool area, and the idea of us having these giant Call of Duty style PvP events is really cool. But the reason that you might want to consider something like Fortress Invincible or something like Zychion Citadel and pay the 25 PED to create the event and pay a couple of PED to make some tickets and try and make this into like a group thing is because at Ashy Rig, if I aim at you and I can't hit the broadside of a barn and I miss completely because I've got bad aim, not because the game tells me I missed, but because I've got bad aim, that still causes decay, it still causes ammo deterioration. Whenever you paid to create an event at a place like Fortress Invincible or a place like Zychion, you have the option when creating the event to essentially turn the ammo consumption and the deterioration down by 90%. So yes, you're having to spend some PED up front to create the event, but if you're able to reduce your ammo burn, and not your ammo burn, but your ammo consumption and your decay by 90%, imagine how much Mindforce skilling you can get in with even a limited chip, even with a low-level chip. And imagine the skill gains that you could get from doing that. That could be absolutely game-changing. So again, it's not something where you're going to be able to do it either way, whether you come to Ashy and go the free route and just eat the PED burn, or whether you go to Fortress Invincible and Zychion and set up an actual event and pay money to do so, and pay money to create tickets. You're never going to be able to get the cost down low enough to justify skilling just for the point of chipping out the skills. It's never going to happen. However, if you are planning on being a serious PvP player and you're wanting to get some of the rare skills in game, this might be a way to go. If I was seriously wanting to skill a whole lot of Mindforce defense very, very quickly, I would probably get 8 or 9 people together and I'd be sure we all had the right chips, the right amps, the right gear, the right FAPs. And I would probably go to Zychion or Fortress Invincible, and I would set up an event and pay a couple of bucks to do it. And I would just make it very easy. We're going to go in turns. You're going to hit me. I'm going to hit you. Here's how we heal. Because I want that ammo burn and that consumption down as low as possible. So saving 90% by paying a few PED up front would be money in the bank well saved compared to coming to Ashy and doing it for free. However, I understand not everybody can do that. Sometimes coming to Ashy might be the only option that you have, where it is free, but you also have 100% ammo burn, 100% deterioration. So you've got that extra PED cost there. So is it something you would want to do just to do it, just to skill it, to try and chip it out? Absolutely not, especially with the way empty skill implant prices are right now and the way the market is for skills. It would not be viable that way. However, if you're really going to take PvP seriously, if you're really going to be going into PvP areas, especially lootable ones, then at some point in your career, you're going to have to do some jammer skilling. And the only way to do that is to get hit by Mindforce. And the only way to get hit by Mindforce is from another player. So if you would rather go the free route and just eat the PED drain, come to a place like Ashy. There's plenty of PvP non-lootable places all over Cali. You and a friend can meet up and just stand still and hit each other. If you're trying to be as cost effective as possible, it might be a better option to create an event at a place like Zychion or create an event at a place like Fortress Invincible and reserve it at a certain day at a certain time and put in the rules. One of the rules that you can check is that reduced ammo consumption, reduced deterioration, and that way you're able to do it more cost effectively, because yes, you're paying some money up front for the event, but you're saving a lot on that ammo burn and that deterioration on your devices, right? So that might be a good way to do it. Personally, I've considered putting a couple of these together in the past. I haven't, just because I've got way too many other things going on. If you saw the other video I posted earlier today, you guys know real life has just been beating me over the head with a stick relentlessly, which is part of the reason I've been away for so long. The other reason is every time I put out a video, MindArk inevitably changes something to more or less make my videos retroactively not as good as they could have been. Like whenever they nerfed the Blazer fragment drops from Exosource. This is a video I think I can safely put out there because it's one of those videos that it's not going to make you money. This is not going to be for every free and low depot player on the planet. This is going to be specifically for the player who wants to get their skills up when it comes to Mindforce defense, who plans to go into a lot of PvP lootable areas, who already has high HP, and probably who already has a very large bankroll to work with to begin with. So this is not going to be for everybody. And MindArk is going to make money off the people who use this technique because of the fact that it's one of two things. Either you've got to just deal with the ammo burn and the decay, or alternatively, if you don't, then you've got to more or less pay to create an event. Which there's still going to be some ammo burn, there's still going to be some decay, there's just going to be less of it, but you're paying for the event up front. So this isn't something where it really harms MindArk by me putting the information out there. It's not like people are going to be able to come just grind away at this for hours on end and make enough money to turn around and sell the skills on market, on auction, and make money hand over fist. It's not one of those things where MindArk's going to jump through hoops to try and undo the information I'm telling you about. If anything, MindArk probably wants you guys to skill this. They probably want you and a friend to go to your local PvP area and skill some Mindforce defense, because not only are you getting Mindforce skills, you're getting defense against Mindforce skills, right? And they know if you're doing that, then they're making money, and they also know that you're probably going to be doing more PvPing, and you're probably going to be going into PvP lootable areas, and these are all things that MindArk wants. So I'm not really running the usual risk that I do by making a video, because I highly doubt MindArk is going to up and change this. There's just not a ton of PvP players in game, which is one of the reasons that this is more or less a forgotten game mechanic. You and a friend can literally just sit here and trade hits all freaking day, and it's really not going to mess with MindArk. It's really not going to do anybody any harm, but you will get some jammer skills out of it. And that's one of the reasons that the top PvPers in the game like to use Mindforce, is they know that most people just do not have the defense skills to be able to defend against it. Just point blank, end of story. Most people don't have the skills that they need, and it's the easiest way, right? That's one of the reasons that you see a lot of guys like Joda that will attack you with Mindforce that won't attack you with a really big giant gun. So if that's something you guys are wanting to do, that's the way to do it. Either go to Ashy, go to a PvP area that's non-lootable, or if you really, really want to get serious about it, go down here to Fortress Invincible. There's a teleporter right here to Car. The event organizer for Fortress Invincible is literally right outside the teleporter area for Takar. At Zychion, if you go to Zychion, if you teleport in, and instead of going right to the big open area, you go left like you're going to the bridge that drops off, right before you get to the bridge, there's an event organizer right there on your right-hand side, and that's where you pay to create your event. To create an event, a paid event, at a place like Zychion or a place like Takar, it's 25 PED up front, and then you also have to pay a couple of PED, it's either a PED or a couple of PED each for the tickets. You can make a certain number of tickets. You can also reserve a certain number of tickets, and then you can sell those tickets. So depending on how much you really want to get into this, how much you really want to do with this, how far you really want to take this, it's kind of up to you. But the big takeaway is the only way to really get defense skills against Mindforce is to get hit by Mindforce. And there's no mob that does that, which means the only way you're going to get those jammer skills is if you go to a place with a friend and you just trade punches with Mindforce. That's the only way to do it. Now, like I said, there are some crossover skills between Evader, Dodger, and Jammer. So your Jammer isn't necessarily going to be 0. And especially with Codex, as you raise your Evader, as you raise your Dodger, your Jammer level should naturally raise also. It's just not going to raise nearly as quickly, which is obviously why a lot of PvPers pick Mindforce as their weapon of attack, right? So guys, that is the long-lost game mechanic. I can honestly say in the entire time I've played Entropia Universe, I have never, ever seen 2 avatars in a PvP area just standing there trading blows with Mindforce to skill Mindforce and to skill defense against Mindforce. I've just never seen it. I'm not saying it's never happened. I'm not saying that nobody's ever done it. I've just never seen it. And that's why I consider it the lost game mechanic, because if I was going to go hardcore in the paint and I was really going to start taking PvP seriously, that's the very first thing that I would do. I would either chip in some jammer skills and get my jammer level up, or I would turn around and I would just get a friend and we would go to a PvP zone and either make an event or go the free route, and we would just trade punches. So is it the best game mechanic known to man? No. I'm not going to act like it is. Is it going to be useful for everybody who watches my videos? No. But there might be somebody out there whose goal is to be the greatest PvPer ever. Or maybe there's somebody who is just getting attacked in PvP left and right by Mindforce and they can't figure out why. That's why. It's because you don't have the defense against it. So the only way to get it is to trade punches with a friend. These are the best options I know of, guys. If there was a better option out there, obviously I would take it. I think MindArk would make a lot of money if they would create one mob somewhere special that you could fight that had Mindforce. I think there's a lot of people that would hunt that mob to death just to get the defense skills from it. It's kind of like Mulcipers. Mulcipers are kind of unique. That's why everybody goes to Zychion to skill evade. And this is one of those things that goes right with it. MindArk has the opportunity to create a creature that could do that, and I think it could really be a moneymaker for them. They could even put it in a special instance, kind of like Mayhem or like the old, what was it that we used to have before Mayhem? It was an instance that we had that you could run through. Everybody had the same skills, and it was a timed event, something like that. So the creature doesn't even have to be on a specific planet or a specific area. They could just make it and put it inside of a special instance, and I think people would just flock to it. But at the moment, the only way we have to get defense against Mindforce attacks is to just grab a buddy and go get hit with some Mindforce. So I know it's never a fun day, but sometimes if you want to be the best, you've just got to have a friend hit you in the face repetitively. That's just how it goes, guys. So guys, that's kind of been the long-lost game mechanic that I haven't really heard anybody talking about, haven't really heard anybody putting out there that could be useful. And I realize it's not for everybody, but I wanted to put it out there because it might give you an opportunity, whether it's to gain some rare skills, have some fun with a friend, make a couple of PEDs somehow, or just get your defense up against Mindforce so you can go into those PvP areas or maybe be the best PvPer there is. I wanted to put it out there because That's the kind of information that gets lost, it gets forgotten about. And I think that there's a lot of stuff like that, yeah, maybe it gets lost and forgotten about and it's never useful again. But sometimes information like that is also the information that can give you an advantage in certain things. They're redoing Mayhem right now. We have no idea what Mayhem is going to look like moving forward. We probably won't find out till October. And honestly, I think that's well needed and a long overdue thing that they're working on. For all we know, this could play a giant role in that. There could be some other game mechanic out there that we haven't even thought about for the past 5 years because we just haven't needed to, and it could play a huge role moving forward depending on how they reorganize Mayhem. So these are the kinds of things I want you guys to think about. I hope this one comes in handy. If you guys have any other ideas of how to skill defense against Mindforce, let me know in the comments below. Please let me know. If you guys ever discover a creature that uses Mindforce attacks that gives you Mindforce defense, so like Jammer whenever you're fighting it, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know that. If there's other lost game mechanics that you haven't heard people putting out there or you haven't heard talked about in a long time, put those in the comments below. And guys, I'm sorry it's been a while since I've made some videos. I'm going to try and get better about that. I just want to be sure I put out good information that is either informative, useful, or both, and ideally not something that after I put it out there, MindArk can turn around and change the game and make it useless after the fact. So guys, from EarnPED.com, I've been StevieB. Smack, smack, sip, sip, F the haters. Head over to EarnPED.com because when you earn, we earn. That's the best way you guys can help support us. Also, check out the video I posted earlier today. Information is on the EarnPED.com homepage at the very bottom of the page, but there is a way you guys can actually earn free RK0 repair tools through EarnPED.com, which when you do will help me out. I greatly appreciate it, greatly appreciate the support, and you'll be helping yourself out too. I didn't put it on the homepage, but yes, I will be drawing for those RK0 repair tools for everybody who participates in that. But even if you don't get one, you're going to get something. Even if it's only a couple of PEC added to your EarnPED account, every time you go through and participate to get an entry in that RK0 competition, you're going to get something. I don't believe in asking you guys to do anything for me for free. So guys, I will be back with more videos in the very near future. I'm trying to come up with some stuff that's really going to help you guys out that isn't stuff that everybody else is putting out there. And I appreciate all the support you guys have shown me over the past couple of months while I've been dealing with real life, which has just been beating me over the head with a stick. So guys, from everybody at EarnPED.com, I've been StevieB, and we will see you guys really soon with another video. Take care, Stevies.